Ready? Is there somebody at the Internal Revenue Service that you're so madly in love with that you want to leave them a whole bunch of your money? You're laughing. You know exactly. That's how fun it is. Nobody approaches them that way. Is there somebody at the Internal Revenue Service that you're so madly in love with or you're so fond of that you want to leave them a whole bunch of your money? They go crazy. You know what they say back most of the time? How do you know that? Isn't that what you would ask back? How do you know that? Well, I say, you know, don't you have an IRA? Don't you have a 401k? Don't you have a 403b? Aren't you building up a huge pile of money for the government? Are you okay with that? What if there was a way, instead of building up a huge pile of money for the government, you could build that pile of money up for you and your family? What would you want to know about it? If there was no cost or obligation, I promise you I will not try to sell you a thing. All I'm going to do is ask you a series of questions that will allow you to clarify in your own mind how to be in control of what happens. Could you find 45 minutes for me in the next week or two? That's what they say every time. It's so non-threatening. Does it feel non-threatening? Doesn't sound like I'm trying to sell them anything. In fact, what's the first thing I told them? I'm not going to try and sell you anything. I don't want them to sell them anything. What do I want them to do? I'm being semantics with you. I want them to buy something because they love to buy. These are hot. Watch. And I mess with these all the time. Watch this one. Ready? Is there somebody at the Internal Revenue Service or one of the local nursing homes that you're so crazy about that you want to leave them most, if not all, of your money? Well, then why are you going to do that? What if there was a way that you could still be in control of your future, and instead of giving the money to the Internal Revenue Service or a nursing home, you could keep that money in your family? When would you want to know about something like that? A couple of years ago, he said. Do you see how, could you learn to ask questions like that? That's what's on the CDs, you guys. But there's hundreds of them. I'm only going to be able to show you about 6 or 7 here. But there's hundreds of them. That's all I do is run around all day asking people questions. It's fun. You'd be amazed. Please, this is so inappropriate, but I'm going to say it anyway because I've fallen in love with about half of you in the audience. The other half I'm getting there. I have at least a dozen 80-year-old women who have confided in me about affairs that they had during their lifetime. Do you think they're ever going to shop me around? Do you understand? They trust me so much that they share everything with me. They're spectacular, amazing conversations. That's what you want. When people trust you enough to have those kind of conversations with you, will they give you all of their money? Yes, that's when it happens. And you have the backup of State freaking Godzilla Farm. You know, I was telling him I was going to do this last night. I'm not sure I can get away with it. But I compare State Farm to Godzilla. Do you understand there's been 212 Godzilla movies? I have a question for you. You're sitting in front, so you get this. Ready? Has Godzilla ever died in any one of those movies? Never. Never. Somebody comes and disturbs him, he comes out, fixes whatever's going on, then goes back to sleep until somebody pokes him again. Okay? That's State Farm. State Farm is the Godzilla of the insurance industry. When you tell somebody they're going to get what they're going to get, they get it. That's what's so cool about State Farm. I wish you guys could get it. I love this company. Love it. It's going to be the reason that people are going to be okay in the next decade. Here's the third question. I've been watching you this whole meeting. Will you help me? I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not trying to trick you, but I want you to tell me the truth, okay? I don't care what you answer. This is the most powerful thing you're going to learn today. If you don't leave here with this, you blew your whole day. Got it? Ready? If you had a choice, would you want to be rich, or would you want an absolute positive guarantee that you will never be poor. Which one? The guarantee. You could ask 100 women, 99 women would say, I want the guarantee. You can ask 100 men, and 95 men will say, I want the guarantee. We're buddies, you be the smart aleck. I want to show you how a question works no matter what. You be the smart aleck. You want to be rich, or do you want an absolute positive guarantee that you'll never be poor? Which one? Rich. What if I could show you how to do that faster than you could ever dream of? Guarantee that you'd never lose any money ever again. You'd be able to take advantage of every bad thing that ever happened. You could do it by reducing or completely eliminating income tax money on that, and you'd have almost certain success. If you knew that was so, when would you want to get started? Tomorrow. See, that's an elevator talk. It doesn't matter what he answers, but here's the answer that you want to know, and you want to know it dead bang walking out of here today. This is what you sell. This is what you do, what I'm about to show you. I asked that young lady in the back, I said, do you want to be rich, or do you want an absolute positive guarantee that you'll never be poor? She said, I want the guarantee. That's what she said. The next question out of your mouth is, what if I could show you a way that even if you completely ran out of money, you would never run out of income? In these uncertain times, wouldn't you at the very least want to know about something like that? At the very least, wouldn't you want to know about that? Even if you completely ran out of money, that you would never run out of income. Wouldn't that be valuable information in these uncertain times? Now, I have a question for you. Do we sell stuff like that? Raise your hands if you know we sell stuff like that. Raise them high. And let's see all of you. We'll do it again. Raise your hands if you know we sell stuff like that. Here's the second question. Does America know we sell stuff like that? Go like this. Not a clue. You sell the only guaranteed income that people can't outlive, and who do you sell it for? Godzilla. Do you get it? That's what people are worried sick about. Do you know that every study after study with people over the age of 65, they are more worried about running out of income than they are about dying. More worried about running out of income than they are about dying. And study after study after study says Americans are way more concerned with loss than they ever are at missing out on gain. And I just had recent proof of that. I have a customer that started with me about 25 years ago with $100,000, and we built their money safely to about $350,000, $375,000. And she just inherited $50,000, and I don't know, I was feeling like a smart aleck that day, and I went over there, and I said, hey, what if we took that $50,000 and we doubled it to $100,000? Would you like that? And she said, oh my God, I would love that. And then I started thinking, I'm going, gosh, you know, go through the process, Dan, go through the process. So I went back and I started asking the questions. And here's one of the questions I asked her. I said, will you tell me something? If you ever got a statement in the mail that said your $50,000 was only worth $49,000, what would you do? And she said, well, Van, I'd kill you. I said, annuity it is. You're laughing. But that was the sale. As soon as I realized that, what did she care about? Did she want to make a lot of money, or did she want to protect that money? Oh, baby. Ask them. Characterize it. Give them a choice. Would you be more upset with me and yourself if you lost 30, 50, 75% of your money, or would you be more upset with me and yourself if you missed out on 10% gain? Which would make you more upset? What do you think 95% of the people say? They don't want to lose anymore. And you sell for Godzilla. You can guarantee that they won't lose any money in your annuities, in your cash value life insurance policies. Wait till I show you the cash value life insurance policy sales. They're so ridiculously simple, you'll pee your pants. So don't drink a lot of liquid at lunch. How many people in here still sell life insurance to young families with children? Raise your hands if you do. We have a mall in Milwaukee, it's called Southridge. And on the lower level It has one of those little choo-choo train things, you know, and there's always a bunch of parents watching their kid go 1 mile an hour on the choo-choo train, and they're worried they're going to fall out at 1 mile an hour. And I do some of my best prospecting right there. I'm there at the mall 2-3 times a week at the choo-choo train park. And I watch and see the parents that are there watching their kids, and they're taking pictures at the 1 mile an hour that they're going. And I say, excuse me, my name's Mueller. I'm an insurance and financial advisor with State Farm. I've been doing this for a really long time. And please, I don't want to interfere with your day. I can see you're having a blast. But I made a conscious decision that when I did this, I was going to make sure that I asked couples like you one important question, and then I was going to go away. I don't want to bother you. I just want to make sure that I've asked this of everybody who's in your wonderful situation. It'll only take 30 seconds. Would you mind if I ask? What do you think they say almost every time? Because of the setup, they want to know what the question is. Do you understand? You're making them long for the question. They don't even care that you're an agent. Here's the question. Do you have children? Young children? Okay, they're young children. Do you think it's fair that when one parent dies and there's not enough money, the children should end up losing both their parents? Isn't the hardest job in America that of a single female parent without enough money? It's the hardest job, isn't it? If they have to cook and clean and sew and do yard work and shovel the snow and make the dinners and make the lunches and do all the stuff, how much time is left to be a parent? So don't the kids really end up losing both their parents? Did you ever think about that? And you know what they say almost every time? No, we never even thought about that. Is it something you guys should think about? If there was no cost or obligation, I could show you an easy way to make sure that would never happen in your family. Couldn't you find me 45 minutes in the next week or two? And all I'm going to do is ask you questions. I'm not going to try and sell you a thing, I promise. Could you find 45 minutes for me in the next week or two? They say yes all the time. That's what you sell. See, do you understand? And people have all of this insurance stuff in the back of their mind, back here. And all you're doing when you ask the questions is you're taking it from back here and you're moving it up to the front of their mind to give consideration to. Doesn't that make sense? That's all you're doing. Most people, most of your clients, aren't they good and wonderful people? They are. They're just busy. They're busy trying to live their lives. Most parents don't think about if they die. They're thinking about, we got to make sure the kids do their homework. We got to make sure they're fed. They get to bed on time. All of those things. They're not thinking about dying. That's why you get paid the big bucks, because you ask them. That's all you're doing is saying, have you thought about it? What would you do? See, that's what's so important about all these amazing questions. Here's another one. Where's it written? I'll ask this guy. Where's it written that you got to lose 30, 50, 70% of your money in order to make money? Where's that written in finance? Then how come everybody does that? What if there was a way to guarantee that you never lose any money ever again? Wouldn't that be amazing? What if it was, that's not good enough? Because if we don't make any money, are you going to have a decent retirement or a decent financial future? So what if, because you didn't lose any money, we could actually put you in a place that we could take advantage of every stumble that this country, Wall Street, the rest of the world makes in the future? When would you want to know about something like that? Yeah, it's no-brainer. It's easy stuff, you guys. Easy stuff. I love to golf. I golf at least once a week during the week and then on weekends. But I never golf during the week with friends, ever. I go at 4:30 in the morning and I go to the local county course, the executive course. There's 6 par 3s on this course. Who golfs at 4:30 in the morning? Old people. I go as a single. They hook me up with a twosome or a threesome. We get to the third hole at Curry Park on Highway 100 and Capitol Drive. There's a group that's on the green putting. There's a group standing on the tee waiting to hit. And we're sitting on the bench, and the poor schlub sitting next to me turns to me and says, "So man, what do you do for a living?" This sucker's toast. I have information I know will change you and your family's life forever, and I'm going to tell you something. If you don't know this information, you and your family are terrible, awful, don't know how to describe it to you, you're never going to recover. Jeopardy. Now, do I say it that way? No. I'm just trying to wake you up before lunch. But I say something to that effect. You know what they say every single time? What the hell are you talking about? And I say, how many golfers are in here? Raise your hands real quick. Tell me if I'm not telling the truth. I turn to them and I say, hey, I don't want to wreck your golf game any worse than it already is. Isn't that the way golfers talk to each other? And I say, I don't want to bother you here, but here's my card. Call me. There's no cost or obligation for this. I'm only going to ask you 7 to 10 questions, and when we're done, you will be so pleased with the information that you'll actually walk me to my car and hold my car door open for me. Fair enough? They say yes. I make appointments while I'm golfing. That's how fun this is, you guys. Northwestern Mutual has its annual convention in downtown Milwaukee every year. When they're here for those 5 days, I have 15 breakfast, lunch, and dinners with NML agents all over the country that I've trained. And we were at lunch last summer, and we were right in front of the Pfister Hotel, and the agent says to me, "Van, you're buying lunch today." And I said, "I never buy lunch. I'll make you a deal. See that guy in the corner? If I get an appointment with him, you got to buy lunch. If I don't get an appointment with him, not only will I buy lunch, I'll pay you 20 bucks. Deal?" He said, "Deal." I walked over and introduced myself. I said, "Hi, my name is Van Mueller. I'm an insurance and financial advisor with State Farm. See that guy over there? He's with Northwestern Mutual. He's here visiting. He's the one that helps make sure our downtown is also lovely as it is. They're building a new home office. It's amazing." And I made a bet with him that I could get an appointment with you. Actually said that. I do it all the time. I said, this will only take a minute. I'm going to ask you about 4 questions. One of the questions is going to seem like it's from outer space, and the other question's a trick question, and I'll warn you before I ask it. Fair enough? So here's the first question. Do you think there's going to be another financial catastrophe like there was in 2007 and 8? Just yes or no. Do you remember in 2007, 12 million people lost their jobs? 12 million. And they believe in the next downturn, 20 million people are going to lose their jobs. 20 million. So here's the question that's from outer space. Answer it as honest as you can. If you and your family, if you lost your job for 30 years, would it harm you and your family and your business? Would it? Here's the trick question. You ready? Isn't that retirement? He freaked. He said, God, I never thought, yeah. I said, well, if you retire at 65 and you die at 70, am I going to have any problem with your retirement? He said, no, but if you retire at 65 and you live till 95, does that open a whole other can of worms? What if you run out of money at 72? What kind of retirement are you going to have? That's what he said. I said, if there's no cost or obligation, I promise you, I swear on my kids, all I'm going to do is ask you some questions that will help you clarify in your mind how you can have a successful retirement. Could you find me 45 minutes in the next week or two? What do you think he said? And I got a free lunch. Now, do you see me go wella, or stumble over any of it? I practice. That's how I learned how to do it. I practice. Emotionally right now, this is hard. I'm exhausted right now. I need an hour, so let's go have a great lunch. Thanks.